Now, this is a bill, if it passes, ladies and gentlemen, this is total freedom. I want to bring it to your attention. If you want to get on your congressman, get it pushed through, this is going to be huge. So this is H.R. 25, Fairness Act of 2019. So it's just introduced in this new Congress. Now, it says right here, to promote fairness and economic opportunity by replacing the income tax and other state taxes to abolish the Internal Revenue Service, ding, 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 ladies and gentlemen, and enact a national sales tax that will be administered by primarily the states. So that is huge. So what do you think of that, Kerry? H.R. 25.
H.R. 25. Man, I mean, dude, I'm feeling it. I think there's got to be change anyway. So, to me, honestly, it's really I'm just kind of okay with it all. I want change across the board, and if this is where it needs to go, this is what's going to help us get to that next level. Then come on, let's do it. What are your thoughts, bro?
This is huge because we got to get rid of the income tax because that keeps people held back. It keeps. Even I think to the point the copyright law has got to get changed. So to break this down real quick of the bullet points of this bill. So Congress finds the federal income tax. It retards economic growth and has reduced the standard of living of the American public, impedes international competitiveness of the United States industry, reduces saving and investments in the United States by taxing income multiple times. How many times do you get taxed on that over and over and over when it should only be once? Slows the capital formation necessary for real wages and steadily increase, lowers productivity. That's another huge one. People just get burned out because they ain't getting ahead. It's just trying to always get ahead, and then you just give up. Imposes unacceptable and unnecessary administrative and compliance costs on individual and business taxpayers. It's unfair and inequitable. Unnecessarily intrudes upon the privacy and civil rights of the United States citizens, hides the true cost of government by embedding taxes in the cost of everything Americans buy now. It is not being compiled with the satisfactory level and therefore raises the tax burden on law-abiding citizens. And then also, Congress finds further that the broad-based national sales tax on goods and services purchased for final consumption. So now just putting the sales tax instead of having the federal income tax, this will promote savings and investment, promote fairness, promote economic growth, will raise the standard of living, will increase investments, will enhance productivity, and it can go on and on and on here. I don't need to list all these folks, but the whole thing, what I want to state is a bill to abolish the Internal Revenue Service, the federal income tax. That's going to be a huge win for the people if we can get this through. Now, this is, like I said, this is just introduced. It's got a ways to go yet, so it's got to pass Congress, go to the House, and then get signed into law by the president yet. And I want to show a clip here from Ron Paul because this is all part of the 16th Amendment, and there was actually the 16th Amendment that shouldn't even have been enacted because it was actually, I believe that was passed on a holiday if I'm not mistaken. But the 16th Amendment is, the Congress shall pass the power to lay and collect taxes on income from whatever source derived, without appointment among several other states, and without regarding any senses of enumeration. Here's Ron Paul's take on that.
Congressman Paul.
Well, we should have the lowest tax that we've ever had, and up until 1913, it was 0%. What's so bad about that? Now, I would like to follow up on that because I think the question on taxes is generally misleading, because anytime you spend money, it's a tax. You might tax, you might borrow, you might inflate. The vicious tax is attacking the American people, the retired people today, is the inflation tax. The devaluation of the currency, the standard of living is going down, and you need to address that. And that's why I want to make the inflation tax zero as well.
So your answer is zero?
Zero.
Hell yeah. Were you a Ron Paul supporter, Kerry?
Yeah. Do what?
Were you a Ron Paul supporter back in the day?
Yeah, that was that older gentleman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was actually, he was one of the ones that, I think he's independent, if I'm not mistaken.
He used to run as an independent, but he realized he couldn't win, so you have to be on the Republican ticket, so that's why he was switched to Republican. But yeah, he's mostly an independent when you think about his stuff.
Yeah, and I'm an independent registered voter, and he was for the legalization of marijuana because, yeah, that needs to happen. People have got to get over this whole it's about the marijuana, it's about smoking it. No, it's about the hemp. It's the plant, what we can do, the paper products, the clothes, the oils, the fuels, everything. So much can be made by this. So yeah, I was for him, and he was for legalization of cannabis, and I voted for him. I remember when he was on that ticket. I think it was my first time ever voting, actually.
Yeah, he ran twice,
But,
one in 2008 and
yeah.
one in 2012. But the way the media
2012.
portrayed him, they ignored him. He came in, I believe it was second
They
in
did.
Iowa, and they would go, this guy's in first, this guy's in third, and then fourth. They totally skipped him when he was in second. It's like
Yeah,
freaking
that's
joke.
right. Yeah, they just shut him down, man, because they were like, oh, he's independent, and they criticized him on the legalization of marijuana, and it's just crazy, dude. It was just that was really a big time thing of noticing how our political system was just starting to be. Well, no, I take it back. Our political system was faulty when Mr. Bush came in and they had to do the recount in Florida, and you're like, what? What is this?
Right. Yeah. So
anyhow,
I wanted
the bill. I think it needs to happen. I think it does. Right?
Yeah,
so are they saying
for
sure. no income tax, or just one time? It's like a one hit. Like, what are they saying? Like no income tax at all.
Yeah, because he said Ron Paul said it was unconstitutional anyway. So yeah, no income tax to keep the fruits of your labor. That's going to drive your wages up, and then it's actually going to get people to spend more when they don't think about it. And then if you just tax the spending, which the states would have to do that, but that's total freedom right there. You get more money, and why not? We got to get rid of the IRS.
That's the big hidden agenda that we don't see. We don't see. Well, a lot of us do. Let me say that back. We are starting to see, and we do see it now. But you see that there has been this. The game could still be played. We could still have a booming economy. We could still buy the things we love. Everybody could have a job. Everybody could have money. There's plenty of that to go around. There's plenty of food to go around to the world. And yet we're sitting here, we keep these thoughts, we think them all the time, and you see people on the street who don't have places to sleep, but yet you see all these apartments for rent and houses for rent, all these places people can sleep, and all this food that gets thrown away. And it's twisted. It's just a twisted little mind game that they have played so that the rich become richer. But as soon as you start seeing, like, if they took away income tax is unconstitutional, okay? But here's what I say. I think that if they were to make it where it is zero income tax, but you voluntarily, if we all volunteered 10% to a global change, because we don't need to be separated like we are in these countries. We need to be not a new world order, because that's got so much bad rap, but in the sense that we can become a world, a planet of beings, and not we're Americans, we're Israeli, we're Pakistani, we're also human. We're all humans, and it shouldn't take a passport for me to go from one country to the other. It should be a currency we could all use, a currency that's worldwide, not just countrywide.
No, I totally agree with that.
Just go place to place.
But I think we have to get the technologies out first so we can bring the other third world countries up to the same standard as the rest of the world.
Oh, dude, we can't be kidding ourselves with that. Third world countries, you know what the difference between third world countries and us?
We got running water.
We got running water, and we got plumbing. You know what I mean, dude? Come on. All we have to do, there's plenty of funds. We we can help them, or we can leave them. They might enjoy where they're at. Compared to what's happening in this society, I'd rather live in an indigenous tribe somewhere in the jungles of Amazon.
Well, that's kind of,
you know what I mean?
That's what I've always been thinking about. Like, you look at Africa, I think it'd be a nice place to live. And if they could just build houses, have plumbing, have the shelter, that's where it should be. I mean, that's a nice area. Why can't it be that way? It's just because all this segregation.
That's what I'm saying. This has been a dark game for a long time, and it started with some reason in Africa. Something started there, and then it's like we all of a sudden somebody told us about making them slaves and taking them over. Like, where were we at in our mind to think that we could do such a thing like that? Where were we at in the human evolution of saying, okay, because they don't look like us, therefore we can make them slaves? They obviously had to have been told something about them, because from there on out, Africa has been just constantly crapped on. There's always some warlord who's getting funded somehow, cough, cough, and constantly killing the people, turning the children into drug addicts and child soldiers. And if you go in anywhere you look, in places in Tanzania, there's places where people can't even, they build a home with just tin paneling and mud bricks, and they just have one floor. It's just a floor. But they have children who are special needs children who need help. But yet we're going to kid ourselves by saying there's not enough money, there's not enough food, we can't help them. People kind of get in a selfish way with their money too. If they want change, they've got to also be the change. We can't just expect other people to do it, but you better believe there's people out there doing it. And that 0% interest, if we can get that from the IRS, that's a start. That's a huge leap for the people to take back their country.
Yeah. I just wanted to add here too that in South Africa, that government's really creating that divide now. It's with the reverse racism, getting black people against whites, and really causing, it's unbelievable what's going on down there.
We've got to stop this, and we can't let that even cause judgment, man. We've got to really just say, come back to yourself, and regardless of what's happening, regardless of circumstances and outcomes, how you're feeling, so that way you can be. It's what you need to feel good. It's what you need, not in a sadistic way, not like drugs or alcohol to feel good. I'm talking what you need to feel happy, to feel joy, to be blissed, to be good. So that way, when you can see what's going on in this world, you can bring it love, and you're not going to a fearful place. You're constantly giving your heart out to these people. You're donating money. You're trying to make a difference. You're volunteering. You're being loving to everybody you can come across, because that's what the world needs, is love. Love is the answer. And it sounds cheesy, and so many, maybe some dudes, most men across this country, but oh, what a wimp, what a baby, what a girl. You know what? Yeah, it's got to change. That's what's got to change.
Yeah.
That's the stuff that has to change.